Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today we're going to do another Equestria Girl from My Little Pony. We're going to try and make Rarity. So here she is. As you know, last week we made Rainbow Dash. Here's Rainbow Dash. So this is her chum Rarity. Pretty similar, a little bit different with the hair. Yeah, nice and easy. We're going to use our loom to make it. We're going to need a couple of colours. I'm using purple. I'm using Rainbow Loom purple for her hair, her skirt and her boots. I'm using Rainbow Loom turquoise for her shirt, the little bow in her hair, and also this little, I guess it's a little emblem on her skirt. And then we're using white. I originally made her using skin tone, and Izzy said, no, she's got white skin. So we're using Rainbow Loom white, and you're also going to need the little 4mm by 7mm mini pony beads for her eyes. If you don't have the beads, it really doesn't matter. You can use black bands. They work quite well as well. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to do this on a loom. Our loom is going to be in the offset configuration, which means that columns 1 and 3 are slightly lower than column 2. The arrow is pointing toward you, as you can see here, or the open part of the peg. If you're not using a Rainbow Loom, the open part of the peg is facing towards you. We are going to be double banding, which means that you take 2 bands at the same time and place them on the pegs together like this. Okay, so we've got 2 bands, and it gives the result a stronger and more robust feel to it. It's not sort of a floppy little doll, it's much stronger. So this is what we're doing. We're going to do the back of the hair first. So we're going to come down 3 pair on the left side, and the same on the right. Now these figures, the Equestria Girls that I'm doing, are a little larger than the normal figures I do, because they've got quite a bit of hair that we're doing here. And we come down 4 here. We're going to do 2 from one side to the centre, and 2 from the other side to the centre. So then we're going to take 2 more and place them here for the neck area, and then a single white band, and we're going to wrap it around a hook once and twice and pop it here like an end cap. So next we're going to place some crossover bands. So taking a single band, you're going to stretch it across these 3 pegs here like a triangle, and on the spot above it, and on the spot above that. Okay, so you have 3 crossover bands. Those keep the columns together. All right, dig down past your little end cap here and grab those 2 bottom purple bands, and we're going to loop those up to this peg above it. Then you're going to take the 2 top bands and loop them to their side, and again for the other side. Now we're going to do the side of her hair. Okay, we're going to make it a little puffier either side. It can be a bit tricky, but I think you'll be able to do it. We're going to actually go through, let's loop up this center one first so we don't get muddled. So you've got these 3 little ones, 1, 2, 3, these are looped. Okay, we're going to use this pair of bands here by going through our left side like this and taking a pair, pulling that pair through and reclaiming. And we're then going to pull another pair through, chaining. Okay, so that's a chain. All right, now we're going to do 6 pair. So that's 2 pair, that's 3 pair, 4 pair, 5 pair, and 6 pair. Okay, so with this second pair, we're going to take another pair. Okay, pull it through. So you're just chaining at the moment, but don't reclaim the end of this for this time. All right, we're going to grab this crossover band, put it on our hook, and now we're going to reclaim, and we're going to pull a pair of bands through those. Now there's 5 loops. There's the 4 loops for the band and the 1 for the crossover. pull that pair of bands through all of them. Again, don't reclaim. You're grabbing your next crossover band. Here we go. Pop that on your hook. And again, pull your next pair of bands through. Grab your next crossover band. Pop it on your hook. And here's your last pair of bands. Pull through. Now you can reclaim, and we're adding these to this last peg here up the top. Okay, like that. We're going to do the same on the other side. So you've got 6 pair. 1, and we're doing them in double bands. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So again, go through this part of your creation. Pull your first pair through. Chain your second pair. Still not looping in the crossovers just yet. Your third pair, this is where we're going to, whoops, not reclaim straight away, because we're going to grab our crossover band with our hook, put it on our hook, and then add those bands. Now you can use your next pair, and you're going through all of those. Again, don't reclaim, because you're grabbing, oopsie, your next crossover and putting your hook back through. Chain your next pair. Again, don't reclaim just yet. Grab your next crossover and your last pair. Pull through. Now you can reclaim, and they go on this one up the top here, like that. Okay, now one of the things that we do want to do is when we loop this up, we're going to add something to this particular band, but we're not at that stage yet. The stage we are at is needing to pull this back to get these bottom 2 bands here. So pulling these ones that we just added out the way, grab those bottom 2 bands, and we're looping up once and we're looping up twice. Don't loop these last, the first sets up. Okay, on this side as well, dig down, grab those 2 bands, loop up once, loop up twice. We're not doing these last ones up here. Okay, and for the center, loop up once, loop up. Oops, I lost a band. Let's make sure I get it. Come back here, you. Runaway band. Loop up twice. Again, do not loop up from peg 2 to 1 on any of those. Now I'm adding this as a quick edit into the video because I actually forgot to put my ears on, and that's a very important part. So when you're at this stage, okay, we've looped up, we need to add ears here. Okay, so what we're going to do, at this stage, you're going to take a single white band, wrap it once and twice and 3 times. Take a white band and cap it and slide on, and then take another white band and cap it and slide on. Okay, make sure these are evenly spread like so. Now at this point you can lift this one up and just let it drop. You can lift this one up and let it drop. On this band, okay, you are going to slide your first ear. Make sure that it's facing the right way and pop this on like so. Okay, then the next one, single band, wrap once, twice, 3 times, cap your band and slide on, cap your band and slide on. Make sure that they're evenly spaced, and then on this little band here, okay, we add our second ear. Again, make sure this is not twisted and add that back like so. Okay, and then you can pop this little band, these pair of bands, back onto the center. Now you don't have to do anything else with these. When you come to loop these in and we're not ready to yet. You just lift them and loop and add what you need to onto this band and loop as normal, okay? But it is an important part to add these little ears at this stage. That's the end of the edit, and we'll carry on with the video as I've gone. But be aware, in the rest of the video you are not going to see that I have added these ears, but you've been smart and you have. All right, take care. Push everything down because we need to lay the bands for the face now, which is going to be white because that's our skin tone for this particular doll. So skipping peg 1 to 2, we're going from 2 to 3 on each column. Alright, like that. Try and make sure that your bands are not twisted, because that can look a bit nasty. So this time we've just got 2 on the left and the right, and we'll have 3 down the centre. You're going to have from the centre to the right, and you're going to have from the centre to the left. You're going to have 2 for the neck. Now, one of the things for the neck, this little white band that we had first needs to go up and over. So normally we would dig down and grab it and loop it up, but this time it's going up and over, so it captures these 2 bands that we just put on for the neck. Okay, the reason we need to capture that is it loops in, it ties in the back of the hair to the neck. Okay, that's really important. Let's place our crossover bands. Stretch your first band across in a triangle. The second is where we're doing our eyes. So we're going to take our first band and twist it once, twice, 3 times and place it across. I like to do this so that the eyes don't fall to the back of the head. Then over here we're going to take a capped band. So we take our band, stretch it, figure 8, loop it on itself and put that across these ones. This one is tighter to draw the head in a bit. Now for our eyes we're going to use our beads. As I said, if you don't have beads, you can use 2 black bands. Wrap your first one once, twice, 3 times. Wrap your second one once, twice, 3 times. These you would slide onto a white band, just like you're going to slide your black beads on. I think beads look nicer, but it's completely up to you. You might not have the 4x7mm beads, mini ponies, where you live. So stretch these across like that, making sure you've got 1 bead either side, and then you're going to take this centre part of the band and poke your hook through the centre of it and lift one side up above this peg like that. So it's sort of acting like a crossover band. Okay, so that is her little face for now. What we're going to do is start with her body, and we're going to be coming down with turquoise for her shirt. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 2 bands for one side of her shoulder, 2 bands for the other side of her shoulder, but I do want to make sure that her chest comes down as white, so I'm going to put a pair of white bands there. Okay, I'm going to come down 3 pair, so 1, 2 and 3, and on the other side 1, oopsie, 2 and 3, and then in the center 1, 2 and 3, like that. I'll try and budge up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, we need to add arms. Again, I'm making the arms a little bit longer than I would normally do them, only because she's got longer legs and she's a larger figure. So that's how we're doing that. What we're going to do firstly, let's lay our bands for our purple skirt, which are 2 purple, on each of these next pegs, and in the center that. And then from the center to the right, and from the center to the left. Oops, come here, there we go. And we're going to put a little end cap on that center one here. Single band, wrap it once and twice. We're going to pop that on here, like so. And then for white legs, we're going to do 1 pair and 2 pair, and the same on the other side. 1 pair and 2 pair. Let's make those arms that we were talking about. Single band, wrap it once and twice. We're going to chain 4 pair. So here's our first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 2 pair in turquoise. 1 and 2. This is going to go on one shoulder, like so. Let's do the other side. Single band, wrap it once and twice, 4 pair of white, and then 2 pair of turquoise. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2. Let's pop that on the other shoulder, which is here. We need to do some crossover bands. So taking your first turquoise, stretch it across under the arms in a triangle. The next one is going to be a capped band. So take your turquoise band, stretch it, figure 8, loop it on itself, and stretch that across those 3. That's to draw her in at the waist. The next one is going to be a regular single band stretched across. We're going to change to purple, stretch a purple one across, and stretch another purple across, like so. Right. We need to make her boots. They're going to be purple. I'm going to get rid of some of these other bands. So her boots are purple. We're going to start by taking 2 bands, wrap them around your hook once and twice, and slide a pair on like that. Okay, so you have it in the middle of a pair. Don't reclaim just yet, because what we're going to do is take another pair and move this down just a bit, and you're going to, in the center of your hook again, wrap once and twice, and then you're going to put this end back onto the top of your hook like that. So that's captured in the middle. Taking another pair of purple, you're going to slide all of that onto those new 2 bands, and that's kind of made a little hinge, which is also your heel. You're now going to chain another pair and 1 more pair. Angle your little foot whichever direction you're working on first. I'm doing the left, so I'm angling it to the left, and we're going to pop that on the end of her leg here. Okay, so it's going to sit on the end of those white bands at the very end, like so. Let's do the same for the other side. 2 bands, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of bands. Oops, come here. There we are. Slide on. Don't reclaim just yet. We're going to take another pair, wrap once and twice, and now we will reclaim those. Okay, slide all of that onto another pair of bands. It can be a bit tricky. You might need to sort of do the wrapped band by itself. There we go. Now you need 2 more pair. 1 and 2. And as you know, you can angle this the other way, and it can pop on this foot here, like so. So you've got the little feet angled either side. Let's try and do a little bit of looping up. We do have to make a puffy bit of skirt here, so we're going to dig down, grab those 2 white bands and loop up, and the same this side. 2 white bands loop up. Okay, we're going to take our next pair of white bands and loop those up either side, and then we're going to dig down past that end cap and grab the top 2 purples, which is the bottom of her skirt, and loop on top of the white of the legs, so that the white of the legs are looking like they're inside her skirt. Do the same on the other side, and the same with the middle. Okay, now the puffiness of her skirt is what we need to do now. I'm just going to shut some of these boxes so I don't spill them all over the place. You're going to turn your figure on her side again. You're going through these white bands here. Okay, you've looped them up, so you're going through like that. So go poke your hook through the center and out through the end. You're going to take a pair, chain them like so, take another pair and chain. Now our third pair you're not going to reclaim, you're going to add the crossover band. So put the third pair on your hook, pull through, don't reclaim, grab this little crossover band, you see it here, this one, alright, put it on your hook and reclaim, and you're going to chain one more pair, put it through, reclaim, and it's going to sit on this band where your purple and turquoise meet. Okay, so it's going to sit right here like so. Let's do the same on the other side. Go from the center of the whites out to the side, chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, but do not reclaim the other side, because you're going to grab that crossover band, put it on your hook, and then reclaim. Okay, then take your next and last pair and pull that through all of them like so, reclaim, and you can put these bands on that peg here, which has the turquoise and the purple. Alright, so that's important. Now what we're going to do, we're going to dig down, grab those 2 bottom purple and loop up. Now for the next pair of purple, which are these ones, I want them to actually go underneath these 2 top bands. So I'm taking these 2 top bands off and holding them out to the side. I'm going to dig down, grab those 2 bands and loop them up. And then I'm going to put those 2 purple ones back. Okay. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Dig down, find the 2 bottom purple bands and loop up. Grab those 2 top purple bands and hold them out to the side like this. Dig down, grab both bands. Oopsie, that wasn't very clever of me. Let's hold these out to the side and see if I can get these 2 back. Yes. Wah. There we go. Loop those up, and then I'm going to pop these back on top like so. We can loop up the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. Loop up those to the white bands. Don't loop up the shoulders and this last white band yet. We're going to dig down, grab those 2 bottom turquoise, and you're looping up to the arms. Okay, so loop these ones up to the shoulder. Same on the other side. Now you do want to make sure that all of your bands are looped in, and the way you can tell is if you have little teardrops. Can you see how these look like little teardrops, and yet these ones do not? They just look like bands placed there. But if they have this sort of little teardrop shape, you know you've looped those in. Now we want our white band to go on top so it looks like a neck rather than the turquoise. So dig down on one side, find the 2 bands and loop to the neck, and do the same on the other side, and then we're going to loop up the neck. Please don't forget that. If you forget that, your arms will fall off. Well, not your arms, but your figure's Rarity's arms will fall off. Alright, this is the other important one. You must loop this one in, this neck one. Dig down all the way to the bottom and grab those 2 white bands, wiggle, 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 and loop them up. we're going to go to the next 2 top white and loop to their side. The next 2, loop them to their side, and then these bottom ones loop up to the center. Again, we're not going to loop further up than these, so let's take these 2 up to here. We'll take these top white ones, 1 and 2, and this side we're going to be a bit careful, 1, and push the eye bands out the way so that you can get to those 2 little top white bands. There we go. Now what we want to do is be a little bit careful. We're doing her bangs here, okay, and we have them sort of attached on the side like we did with our other creation. So what I want to do is go through a couple of these bands on the side here to make it so that it loops in carefully. So what I'm going to do, I need to loop up, but I want this to come out the side here, okay. I'm going to dig down and grab that purple pair and loop them up and put this back on. Alright, I'm going to do the same this side. Dig down, grab those 2 purple pair, and you can see that by linking the purple in, we've looped in to the white with the purple. So the top of the hair and the face is all interlinked. Now I'm going to go through, I want to look here on the side, and I want to make sure I go through some of these bands here, if I can. There we go, here on that side with my purple bands for her bangs. So I'm going to take a pair and I'm going to pull through. So that's 1 pair. I'm going to take another pair. That's 2 pair. And I'm going to take 1 more pair. That's 3 pair, okay? And what I'm going to do, this needs to be looped up, so I'm going to take those 2 bands like that, but before I place them on that center peg, I'm going to put these 2 loops on there. So I'm going to slide that through like that, and then I'm going to add it to the center, okay? And that's to sort of act like bangs on that side. Now for this center one here, we're going to do something a little bit different. So what we're going to do, first of all, mustn't forget to loop up this band here. Okay, so dig down, loop this up. Okay, and we're also going to loop this one up to the center here as well, like so. Now what we're going to do, we're going down to, let's see, about the eye area, so in line with where the eyes are. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to add something to this band here, but first of all we're going to make the bit that sort of flops out the side here. It's sort of like a flick. So I'm going to take a single band, wrap it once and twice, and I'm going to chain 3 pair. So 1, 2, and 3. So this is my 3 pair. Okay, now I'm going to have this, these are my 3 pair, sitting out here. So what I'm going to do now for my next, I'm going to go through this side, okay, both things of this side. I'm going to pop that in the middle. So if you see what I've done, I've got one side on my hook, I've got the other side in my finger. I'm going through those 2 loops, those 2 sides, okay, popping that back on my peg, and now I'm going to chain another. I'm chaining through all of those, but I've basically added that into here. So let's chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, chain 4, and chain 5. Let's do 5. Here we are. Now I'm going to just pinch these with my fingers, because what I want to do, as I loop this last one up here, okay, that I want to go through this. So I'm going to pop this on my hook. That's not going anywhere right now. I'm going to pop my hook back through here drag that through and loop this up to here. Okay, so it's sort of captured here, but this is the bang. I'm going to go through all of this with my hook. Take another pair. I tend to twist my hook so that the hook bit doesn't get caught on these bands as I pull it back through, like so, to the back of the peg, one over the other, and pull tight. I'm going to take her off our loom. Let's hope we've looped everything in. I'm going to use a crochet hook that doesn't have the ergonomic handle and gently ease her. The last thing you want to happen is for your bands to break because you just ripped her off your loom. That would be bad. So gently does it. Ease her off. You've got a lot of bands here and it would be very easy for something to break. Don't worry about her eyes looking like they've gone to the back of her head, because all you do is pop those out after the fact. Likewise, you can see this little band is more stretched than the others. It doesn't matter. We get to pretty her up as we stretch her into shape once we've taken her off the loom. Little legs. There we go. Let's get the loom out of the way. So gently ease her into shape, making sure that things are even. Stretch out her little skirt a little bit. And again, you want it so that the bands are even either side. With arms, I tend to pull up and down, and then up and down, just to sort of release those bands so they sit nicely. Don't worry about the back of the head just yet. We want to try and even this up because that is looking a bit odd. So let's even these bands up a bit. Pull her eyes out so that they're not flopping to the back of her head. Okay, now pull this bang forward a bit, like so. And this bang sits here with the little flick. Tie off bands. Between the face and the head, you have this gap. You want to push your hook through the gap all the way up to the top where those tie-off bands are. I hope you can't hear my kittens being silly in the background. Grab those two little tie-offs and gently pull back to the centre of the head. And what you're doing is you're going to hide these two tie-off bands at the back of the head. Okay, so pull them through. You want to make sure you only get those two tie-off bands, not everything else. Come here. I'm using a smaller hook than normal, which I think is part of my problem. Pull, 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 pull. There we go. Back in the head, like so. Pretty the face up. Stretch her into shape. Now, that's fine, but she's got short hair, doesn't she? So what we're going to do, the same as we did with Rainbow Dash, but this time we don't have to change colours. We're leaving this as is. See these two? There's two here and two here. They're the side ones. We're going to ignore those. So go through. This is your first line here. You're going through these two. You're going to chain 6. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's a good idea to have a spare hook, holding hook or a stitch marker or something like that, because you're going to need it in a little while. Now this is our next one here, so we're going to go into this, make sure we can get just those two. Yep, there we go. So this is the next one. We're going to chain 1 less than we just did here, so 5. So go through, pull it through. You've still got these ones on your hook. Chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 5 number 5 chain is going to go through all 4 loops. You're joining them together, so it goes through those first 2, but then through those 2 as well, and hang on to it. Okay, so here we are coming down the back. Next is this 3rd row, or column. Here they are. You're going to poke your hook through. We're going to do chain of 4 and leave these other ones on your hook. So chain 1, 2, 3, and 4 is again going to go through all 4 of these loops. So through there and then through here. Now this is where you want your extra holding hook, if you have one, or a stitch marker or something. You can use a toothpick, you can use whatever you happen to have to hold these and stop them from unraveling. I've got a little stitch marker here. If you don't have a stitch marker which just holds them like that, use your hook. Just pop your hook through and it'll just hold it. Now what you're going to do is start the other side, which is this side. And if you look, those are the 2 that join them. So these are the 2 here, okay, that we're going to chain 6. So there's our first chain, second chain, 3rd chain, 4th chain, 5th chain, and here's our 6th chain. And then this last one here, can you see over here, these 2 and these 2, that's that other column. Alright, we're going to chain 5, keeping these ones on your hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now number 5 is going to go through all 4 of those loops. Okay, like so. Now back to where we have this one sitting on either your holding hook or a stitch marker. You want to put your hook through this little loop here. Okay, you can put it through both. It doesn't matter. Put it through both. Undo. Take this one off your hook and hold it out. Okay, and you're going to pull this side through these 2 loops on your hook like that and reclaim. So you have all of these sitting on these 2 bands. Okay, with a single band you're going to pull through all of those loops and tie off in a little tie off band. Now this is going to look ugly, so what you do is you pull it so that the knot is going to go at the back here. So turn it around, go to the back, go through these bands, and you're going to pull that end, that tie off band, that little ending band through and give it a tug so that it comes through the back here. And then you're going to weave the end of that band through this center chain so that we can hide it at the base of the head. Okay, so weave it through like that. That's not going to go anywhere. Stretch her hair out like so, and it's supposed to be so that it's sort of puffier on these sides and not so on the middle, so that it's sort of long and whatnot. And there we have Rarity, except, oh, let's see, oh, we didn't do her ears. Well, that was silly of me. What we need to do is put a little bow here in turquoise. So for the bow, I'm just going to go through, and what I want to do is just grab one little band from here and one little part of her bangs, stretch that out like so, and tie a little knot like that. Okay, and then she has this little emblem, Izzy told me it was very important, on her skirt as well. So we're going to take a single, wrap it once and twice. I'm going to take a single purple, stretch it figure 8 and use as a cap band, slide that on like so. Okay, now I want to be very careful how I do this. I'm going to pinch it so that I've got both ends held in one hand. I'm going to poke my hook from the back to the front through the second chain and drag one side back, and then I'm going to through a different spot here, and I'm going to pull back the other side, and of course I just let go. That wasn't terribly smart of me. Pull the other side back like that. So you've got 4 little loops. It's one band but 4 little loops. Take another band, pull it through all of those little loops and do it as a tie-off band like so. That keeps that tighter. You want to make sure that those bands are even. Okay, I've got one that looks like it's a little bit. There you go. Now this little tie-off band, what you're going to do is just thread it through the back of her skirt to hide it. Make sure you hide it just behind all of these other bands. Oopsie, come here you. Like so. So that's the little mark, little emblem on her skirt. Now, as you can tell, I forgot her ears. I'm going to add an edited part into the video to show you when you do yours, you'll be adding them as normal. I'm going to add mine after the fact, so that if you are in a situation like me where you've forgotten to do her ears, don't worry, you can add them after the fact. So I'll do that now, but hopefully you won't get to that stage. So what you're going to do, white bands, you're going to take one, wrap around your hook once, twice and 3 times. Capped band, slide this on and reclaim, and another capped band and slide on like so. Okay, now what you want to do, you want this one side to be white, then you're going to capture a purple band and then the white, so you're going to have it sort of like that. So you have to take one side off. Okay, so keep this one real close up to the end here. You want to capture a purple band. I'm going to try and capture one of the bands from the inside. Okay, then I'm going to replace my white bands from the other side on my hook like that. Now you're going to tie them in using a purple band. So, and it's tricky, it's trickier to do it this way. Slide through, do a tie-off band like that. Okay, now you have to be careful because you have to go from the back, okay, to the front of the ear to grab that tie-off band and pull that inside the head like so. Okay, and then you can hide it inside with all the other hair bits. And make sure when you do that, you can see that little loop, you want to make sure you just tuck that in to the back of the head. So there is one ear, and you're going to do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, capped band, and another capped band. And if you remember what I said, we're going to try and capture a purple band in the middle here. So we're going to look, now I'm going to try and capture a purple band down in here. Okay, so it's not my top bands, it's not these top bands, it's one underneath it. So I'm going to take these off. Okay, keep that nice and close to me. Find my little band that I'm going to capture. It's going to be one of these ones here. Put these 2 little they're not tie-off bands, the 2 little capped bands back on my hook. With a purple band, I'm going to pull through and tie off like so, nice and tight. And I need to make sure that it's evenly. There we go. And now to hide that, I'm going through the back of the head, to the front where the ear tie-off band is. I'm going to pull that back through and pull it tight, and you want that to be facing the other way, like so. Now it does not look as nice, I don't think, as if you do it, and this one, you've got to tuck it in. I don't think it looks as nice when you add them after the fact, but if you've forgotten her ears, it's far better to add them after the fact than not have them at all. So those are her ears added after the fact. I will show you, as I said, I'm going to edit and pop a little edited part in so that you can make sure that you don't forget to add your ears. There she is, little Rarity. I hope you like her. I think she's rather cute. If you like the video, big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to find out when I have new content. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.